Okay, so if you're in marketing, you've definitely felt this. It's like the old playbook is just being ripped to shreds right in front of us. That organic traffic we all relied on, the lifeblood of our businesses, it feels like it's just vanishing into this AI ether. And this isn't some slow drip. This is a tidal wave, and it is happening right now. So, we're going to get right into it because this isn't some pie-in-the-sky prediction for 10 years from now. By 2026, and that is right around the corner, understanding the difference between good old SEO and this new thing, GEO, well, it's going to be the difference between thriving and just plain failing. Think of this as your survival guide. So here's what we're going to break down. First, the basics of SEO versus GEO. Then we'll do a deep dive into what really makes them different. After that, we'll build your new strategic playbook, show you how to pull it all together, and then wrap up with the key takeaways. Sound good? Let's do it.
All right, first up, let's just get our bearings. To really get a handle on where we're headed, we have to be super clear on where we've been. We all know SEO, right? For the last, 20 years? The whole game has been about convincing an algorithm that your webpage is the best, most authoritative answer for a keyword. And the goal? Simple. Be one of those top 10 blue links on Google. That was the whole game. But now there's GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. You might also hear people call it AEO, for Answer Engine Optimization. And this just flips the entire script. See, the goal is not to just rank anymore. The goal is to become part of the AI's generated answer itself. That is a massive shift, from being a link people click to being a source people trust. So let's really break down what that shift actually looks like. Because these differences, they affect everything: your strategy, your tactics, even how you define a win. Think about it this way. SEO is like going to a library, and the librarian hands you a list of books you could check out. GEO, on the other hand, is like having a one-on-one conversation with that expert librarian who's already read all the books and just gives you the synthesized answer right there. The arena itself has completely changed. And that changes what we're aiming for. SEO was always about those short, punchy keywords. But GEO, that's all about targeting these long, conversational questions. We're talking 5 times longer than a normal search. It's not about matching a phrase anymore. It's about deeply, truly understanding and solving a user's real, nuanced problem. And that means the prize has changed too. In the world of SEO, being number 1 was everything. In GEO, the new number 1 is just being included as a cited source inside the AI's answer. You win that moment of trust, even if you're not the only name they mention. Which of course brings us to how we measure success. We're moving away from just counting clicks and visits. The new big KPI is AI share of voice. And listen to this is so critical. The data is already showing that a visitor who comes from an AI answer is 4 to 6 times more valuable because they're already so much further along in their decision-making process. So just to recap real quick, the arena shifts from a search page to a chat box. The target goes from keywords to true intent. The goal moves from ranking to inclusion. And how we measure it all shifts from clicks to actual influence. Okay, that's the theory. But now for the big question. What do you actually do about it? Let's start building your new strategic playbook right now. I want you to think of SEO as your defensive strategy. You're protecting your digital castle here. If you've got an established website, if your business relies on local search, or if your customers use those transactional buy now keywords, SEO is still your foundation. And never forget, AI engines still look at page 1 of Google as a huge signal for who to trust. So that foundation, it's totally non-negotiable. GEO, on the other hand, well, that's your offense. This is the guerrilla warfare tactic for new players. If you're a challenger brand, if you have low domain authority, or if your product needs a lot of customer education, GEO lets you completely bypass that years-long grind of traditional SEO and get right in front of high-intent users. And you can do it fast. Okay, but now we're getting to what I think is the most important part of this whole explainer. This is not an either-or choice. The real killer strategic advantage comes from unifying these two things into one single powerful strategy. Here's the core principle. Great GEO is also great SEO. The stuff that works for AI engines is basically exactly what Google wants anyway. High-quality content that's all about the user. The guys at Marketing Against the Grain said it perfectly. The best AI search tactics will not be bad for Google. The two things work together, not against each other. So how do you actually combine them?
Well, you start by creating content that answers those really specific bottom-of-the-funnel questions. You structure your articles in a super clear Q&A format. You publish original, unique data that people have to cite. You go to places like Reddit and Quora where real people are having these conversations. And you use technical stuff like schema markup to basically spoon-feed the AI exactly what your content is about.
Let's make this real with a quick example. Picture a SaaS company. Step 1, they play defense and protect their SEO by optimizing their main product and pricing pages. Step 2, they launch their GEO offense, creating articles that answer super specific customer questions. Step 3, they publish an original research report to get cited all over the web. And step 4, they build a real presence in the subreddits where their customers actually hang out. Boom! That's a full, unified strategy in action.
All right, let's pull all this together and lock in your strategic playbook for 2026 and way beyond.
First off, let's just bust the biggest myth out there right now. The whole SEO is dead thing. It's completely wrong. The reality is that GEO builds on top of SEO. All that traditional SEO work you do, that builds the authority and the trust signals that AI engines still lean on to figure out who's credible. SEO is the foundation you build your GEO house on.
So, this checklist right here, this is your guide. The message is pretty simple, really. Protect your foundation, but build your future growth by becoming the most trusted, most citable source in your space. The game has changed from chasing clicks to earning trust.
And honestly, it all boils down to the one question you need to go back and ask your team. Is our strategy still built for a world of clicks, or are we ready to start optimizing to be the answer?
Hey, if this breakdown was helpful for you, do me a favor and hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And I really want to know what you think, so drop a comment below. Based on what we just talked about, what's the one big change you're going to make to your search strategy? Thanks so much for watching.